Welcome to Mindset and Money Mastery for Photographers, the podcast. We help overwhelmed photographers make more money while simplifying their business by mastering their, you guessed it, mindset and money. Tune in each week for practical and actionable tips to take your photography business up a notch. Let's dive right in. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be recording this episode, but also a little bit sad. You'll need to listen in to hear more about why I'm excited and why I'm sad at the same time. But this episode is going to be one a little bit from the heart. I just wanted to share with you what has been going on the past couple of months and what you can expect this summer from the podcast and from our community, our groups, all of that good stuff. So I kind of want to give you a bit of a recap of what I've been going through, what's been happening in my own personal portrait business, and share a little bit of inspiration. This month celebrates our third year in a row that we have had a six-figure month in our portrait business. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 figures in our portrait business in 1 month. And this is our third year in a row that we have had a 6-figure month in our business. That's crazy, guys. And this whole idea and the process getting to a 6-figure month is a little crazy, I'm not going to lie. And it's been a little tiring because doing that much work and supporting that much volume of work can be a lot. But I've learned a lot of lessons along the way for this. And I just kind of wanted to share with all of you what that's been like and why this episode is going to be a little bit different than most of our episodes. So the first thing I want to tell you is that I came off of a big 4-week-long, photographed a ton of sessions. We do some high volume, I call them high volume, high dollar portrait sessions, where we are shooting a large volume of portrait sessions that we are also selling wall art for. We do those over a 4-week time period, and it's absolutely amazing. I love it. I will dish more details about all of that in an entirely new another episode. But that creates a lot of revenue for us. But we are also able to donate a lot of money and give a lot of money back to charity. And that's why we do that whole 4-week push and do so many sessions, is actually to raise money for charity. So over that 4 weeks time period, we actually raised almost $15,000 for charity, which is freaking amazing. Past years, we have raised around $10,000. So this year is the most that we've ever raised for charity. So we do this big 4-week-long event. We photograph a ton of animals. And then after that, I jumped straight into going to California to photograph a dance studio. Most of you probably don't know this, but along with my equine portrait work, I also do a dance studio every year. So we do some high volume dance photography. We actually did 2 high volume events this year at the 1st of March. And then again in May, we go back and we do another high volume event, with the one in May being much, much larger. So from beginning of March through here, the middle of June, our studio is crazy. We are doing so much work. I would say that we're doing more work in 1 week's time period than most studios do in an entire year, which has taught me so much about business. There are so many lessons to be learned through this. But what happened is, amongst all of this craziness that happens in my portrait business, which is amazing and fun, and we make a lot of money and we give back in really big ways. But amongst all of that, I planned a few days off too. I planned a few days off to head to California. I actually went to LA for a retreat with Dr. Julia. I'll provide her information in the show notes if you want to look her up. And Dr. Julia teaches flow. And you know that mindset is a huge part of what we talk about here. Your mindset impacts your business so, so much. And I went to this 1-2-day retreat with Dr. Julia, and something hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was not very pretty, to say the least. It was a little difficult to swallow. And I'll try to put it into words the best I can, because honestly, I haven't talked much about it. If you follow my personal Facebook page, you know that I made a big long post that was kind of cryptic about this. But I'm going to try to break this down for you a bit. And it was really, really an important reminder
for myself, but also an important reminder that I wanted to remind each and every one of you. And that is that it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. It can be simple. Our lives, our business should not be hard. But all too often, I think that we have this perception that if we aren't working hard or we aren't struggling to do the thing and constantly just like climbing up the wall, then we're not doing it right or we're not doing enough because it's not a struggle. And I think I had this really large realization in part from hearing my coaching clients talk about this struggle, but also feeling it myself. March through 1st of June, middle of June is crazy town for me. And I know that. I work a lot. And I know that I work a lot, and I know that it's going to be a struggle for those few months. But I also know that on the back end of those few months, it's time for rest and restoration and celebration and enjoying life. But all too often we get so caught up in this idea of the struggle, the journey, at the end it's going to be worth it, but we forget where that end point is. So for all of you that are listening to this today, and you feel like you've been on this struggle bus, you feel like you've been on the climbing up the mountain for the last few years, maybe it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I'm going to ask you this today. When do you want it to stop? When are you going to decide to make it easy? Because I'm telling you right now that myself included, I'm guilty of this sometimes. We get so caught up in the excitement and the energy of the struggle that we forget to take a step back and to end the struggle and to decide that it doesn't have to be that way. This is year 11 in business for me now. And I get it. Like, I remember those days in the early years where I worked nonstop 24/7 and there was no stopping. And I think it was around 5 years in that I decided, I'm not going to work 12 months out of the year and do this. I'm going to purposefully take time off. And I purposely planned in my business and in my life to allow myself time to breathe, some restorative time, some time off, some downtime from the struggle. Because I realized that it wasn't sustainable. And I realized that you can only do so much. And now that I'm further along in my business, really, in my portrait business, I'm really only photographing clients maybe 6 months out of the year now. And I know that of those 6 months, there's about 2-3 months that are a lot. It's a lot of work. But I know that on the back end, there's a break, there's room to breathe, there's room to restore, and there's room to grow again and to nourish myself. So I want to encourage you today to do that for yourself, to leave that time and to plan time in your calendar, in your business, in your life, time that is easy. And I know that sounds so weird, but it's as simple as saying, hey, I'm going to take July and August off from photographing portrait clients because it is way too hot and nobody has time for melting in the 100-degree Texas heat. Or maybe you live somewhere where it's cold and you're like, you know what? I am tired of trying to convince people to go outside and freeze their butts off in the snow. So I'm going to take 3 or 4 months off in the wintertime when it's snowing and cold and muddy and gross out. Make a decision as simple as that. I'm going to purposely take time off. I'm going to purposely build an easy time for myself to restore and to pour into myself and do the things for myself in my business. And you can plan for this. But all too often I talk to photographers and they say, well, I think I can work 12 months out of the year. I think if I shot some stuff in the studio, I could do that during the winter. I could do that in the summer when it's too hot. And then I could work all year round. Where does that come from? Because I can tell you right now, that doesn't have to be the case. You could have a 6-figure month that's insanity and pays you incredibly well. And then you could take the next 3 or 4 months off just because you want to. If you're feeling like the struggle, like the hard, like the challenge is never ending, I want you to consider why. I think that this really truly comes from a place in a lot of us of we are raised in a way to believe that unless we're working hard, it doesn't count. How many of you have this deep-seated belief that like, unless I'm struggling, unless this is hard, can't be real. I can't be doing it good enough if it's not hard. What happened when I was in LA was just a weird series of events that I can't even quite explain. And I could talk about this for hours, I'm sure. But there was a woman who was attending. She was going to stand up and speak on the second day. And she said, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to sing y'all something. And she stood up and she sang this song. And it was magical. And I'm just like sitting there, standing there. I think we were standing. And it just like hit me like a freaking ton of bricks. And it was really simple. All she said was, let it be easy. And I remember after listening to her sing those words over and over and over again in this beautiful melody, I sat down with my notebook in front of me and I just wrote down, my business doesn't have to be hard. My coaching clients, their business does not have to be hard. And I owe it to each and every one of you to set an example and to lead and to show you that it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. You can jump off the struggle bus. Your business doesn't have to run your life. Your business doesn't have to be an all-encompassing every minute of every day is engrossed in your business. Yes, I get it. You love your business and you want it to be everything and you want to pour your heart and soul into it. And I get it and I understand that and that is okay. But it doesn't mean that every waking moment has to be spent in front of your computer working. When I came home from LA, I was doing a lot of thinking and it made me realize that I was going to simplify some things. And in part of that simplification is I always take the summer months to give myself a breather after my crazy season. And I decided that we're going to shut down the podcast for the summer. We won't have any episodes coming out over the next few months for the summertime. We're going to be sharing some of our replays of our top episodes from the first season of our podcast. But I'm going to take some time back away from the podcast to recharge for all of you. But also, it made me realize something else. In the beginning of my coaching business, I had this thing called Photography Business Tune-Up. And Photography Business Tune-Up was a couple month-long program, and we did it in a group, in a community, and things were recorded live and shared live and taught live. And I loved my Business Tune-Up program. It was like a boot camp of sorts is what I used to call it. And so I have decided that this summer, I'm actually going to bring back a version of my Business Tune-Up. And we are going to do a summer boot camp. This is going to allow me to get to know more of you, to connect with all of you, to like see your face on calls live, to talk to you, to converse with you, to build a stronger community with all of you, to help you make more money without working so hard. That's my goal for you. And I've decided that we're going to bring this boot camp back to life, and we're going to do a summer boot camp this year. Our summer boot camp is going to be 12 weeks long, and it is going to start mid-June. So that gives y'all a couple of weeks to join us, but spots will be limited. So we're going to limit our boot camp to 20 people. So it'll be the first 20 people to join us. And I'm really excited about this because not only does it take me back to the beginning iteration of what my coaching program was, but also because it allows me to get to know you all in a community and to pour into you as people and individuals and not just a voice on your phone or in your car as you listen to this podcast. So if y'all are interested in joining us in the summer boot camp, I want you to send us a message on Instagram at Master Your Mind Money, or send us an email at members@karindak.com. Or you can also reach out to us on Facebook as well, or DM me on Facebook, send flares, smoke signals, whatever it may be. Get in touch with us. Really, what this summer boot camp is going to be about is helping you simplify, making your life easier, making your business less complicated, and also helping you make more money from the clients that you have. If you're sitting there and you're doing 5 or 6 clients a month that are only paying $1,000 a piece, what would your life be like if instead you had one client that spent $6,000 with you? How would that change things? Those of you that are sitting there listening to this and maybe your clients spend $1,000 or $2,000 or maybe $3,000 and you're just like, man, I would love to figure out how to get my clients to spend $4, $5, $6, maybe even $10,000 and to make my life easier in the process, then this is for you. We're going to talk about how to simplify, how to get rid of the fluff, guys. I remember there was a day when my workflow was like, I didn't know I had a spreadsheet. I think it was like 120 steps long in my workflow. My workflow is like 4 steps long now. It's very simple. There's not a lot that goes into it because it has to be. I'm photographing close to 150 sessions, sometimes more, in a month's time period. And every single one of those people is getting the full experience from me for the most part. There's a few little tweaks there. But my experience and my process and my workflow has to be simple. It has to be uncomplicated. It has to be easy to track. It has to be easy to manage. And it has to be scalable as well for me and my business. Because I'm not sitting here building a $100,000 portrait business a year. I'm sitting here building a $1 million portrait studio. And in order to do that, what I do has to be scalable. And it has to be able to be replicated. And it has to be able to grow with my business so I can do more and serve more people in my portrait business. So this summer in our summer boot camp is going to be about helping you make more money from the clients that you have while simplifying your processes. So that way you can work with less people and get more of your time back. And you can have those clients that you love to work with, that value you and respect you. You can get more of those. And less of those clients that are quite frankly a pain in your butt to deal with. I remember those clients. And quite honestly, when I do volume work, I get a taste of that again. When I'm doing volume work like my sports and dance studio stuff, I'm getting a taste of what it's like to work with clients who don't respect you because volume pricing is different than full portrait pricing. And the less people pay you, the more of a pain in your butt they are. That's just the reality of it. And I don't want y'all to have to deal with that in your portrait business. It's not fun. It's not a great feeling. I remember when my clients were paying $500, maybe $800 for a portrait session, and they were so needy. They needed everything. My clients that spend $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000+ on their portraits now, you know what they say to me? They say, Karinda, we trust you. Which picture do you like the best? Which one do you think we should get on the canvas? Okay, cool, sounds good. We'll do that one. My clients trust me. They love me. They trust me. They respect me. It's a whole different ballgame. And I want that for y'all. I want that for each and every one of you that are listening to this today. So here's the thing. If you're sitting there listening to this, get in touch. Send me a message. This is limited. The summer boot camp is going to be a small group of people. It's going to be 12 weeks long. And we're going to have meetings every other week as a community together. And in those meetings, we're going to dive into so much great detail and so much great information. And we're going to work through things together as a community and as a group going in this together. It's going to be awesome. And I cannot wait. The other thing I want to tell you about this is probably the lowest priced coaching option I've ever offered. Normally to work with me in my coaching program, you're going to invest $6,500 or more. And this is substantially less than that. So this is going to be a great way to get your foot in the door, to work with me for 12 weeks, to get to know me, to get to know a great community of people, and really, really change your business. Because fall's right around the corner, guys. And we all know what happens. We get into fall season. Things get busy. We can't say no to people because everyone's trying to get their last minute family portrait session in for those Christmas cards. And what happens come November, mid-December, Christmas time? We all feel a little burnt out. We all feel a little used and abused. We all feel like if one more person calls me and says, I just need Christmas cards, my head might explode. I get it. I've been there. But your fall season does not have to be like that. Your fall season can make you so much money. It can be so fulfilling for your heart and your soul and your life and your pocketbook. And that's a cool feeling, right? I am so excited. I know this is going to be amazing, and really, I can't wait to see who joins us here, but I know that it's going to be good. So if you're interested in all the details, like I said, reach out, send me a message on Instagram, Master Your Mind Money, send us an email, members@karindakay.com, or reach out to us on Facebook, connect with us there. However you have to get a hold of us, and just let me know that you're interested and you want to join us. It's going to be limited. Act fast, because as soon as this podcast is released, those spots are going to go so fast. I already know it. I can't wait. And also too, through this process this summer, I want to share with y'all what it looks like to have a 6-figure month. What could that even look like for a photographer to have a 6-figure month in their business? And I want to share a sneak peek into what that looks like and how that works and how this is scalable as a business owner and all of that good stuff. The foundation that you lay right now in your business dictates the longevity of your business. It dictates the scalability of your business. It dictates how well you're able to grow and sustain this. And if you haven't seen the statistics on businesses, the statistics on the number of businesses that make it past their first few years are shocking. I wish I had the numbers in front of me right now. I should have thought about this beforehand, but like I said, tonight is just off the cuff, me recording this podcast episode and sharing my heart with all of you. I'm really excited, and I hope that we can build a really fun community this summer and just really help each other and help each and every one of you grow. If you're ready to go from starving artist mode to well paid this fall, this is for you. I wanted to share with y'all a few wins and a few celebratory things that have been going on in our full coaching program lately, because I feel like it's always fun to share some of the things that my coaching clients have been doing. And I had a post the other day and asked everyone what their wins were or what they've been working on. And I thought their responses were really fun to share with y'all. So one of the wins was one of our members had a $16,000 sale, which is amazing. $16,000 sale. Wow. Can you imagine? And she sold a Guild Campus without even having a sample yet. How cool is that, right? She didn't even invest in a sample yet, and she was able to sell one. Another coaching client shared that her mindset had grown. She finally deeply feels qualified in what she's doing. And she finally sees herself as an expert in her field of what she's doing in her photography career. Somebody else celebrated that they sold one image for more than they had ever made from an entire client before. One image for more than they'd ever made for a client. One of our other members shared that she finally got out of her head and is rocking her social media content. And another client shared that she had an all expenses paid trip to photograph some horses. And they paid for all of her travel in advance, and they spent over $10,000 on their portraits on top of paying for all of her travel to go to them. How cool is that? Can you imagine if that was your life? That's cool. That's the dream, right? I hear this time and time. I would love to be able to travel. What if you were able to travel with all of your expenses paid and your client spent over $10,000 with you on their portraits? That's crazy, right? But that's the reality, and that's what photographers are doing all over the world in their business. And when I say world, some of those stories are people that are not in the US. They are in other countries as well. That is amazing. I'm so proud of them, and I'm so excited. And getting to hear their wins and hear the things that they're doing is just the coolest thing on earth. It's one thing for myself to be like, yeah, I had a $10,000, $15,000 client, but to get to see my coaching clients say, Yeah, I had a $16,000 sale. That's a cool feeling. One of my other coaching clients, she added a really high-end wall art option to her price list that she had been a little scared of before. And she sold her first one this month as well. And she was like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Why did I not do that sooner? Right? Those are the things that you can have in your business. So if you're listening to this and you're like, man, that is what I want. I want the full thing. Let me know. We actually do have a couple spots open in our full coaching program too. If you're interested in that, I am happy to chat with you more about that. But if you are interested in our summer boot camp, like I said, 12 weeks long, it starts mid-June. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a live meeting every other week. We're going to talk about things. We're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. And you're going to go into the fall season more equipped than any other fall season before, and really knowing how to go into this confidently, how to have your systems in place, how to make money from the clients that you have coming in your door. If you're listening to this, like I said, if you're making, maybe $1,000 to maybe $3,000 per client, you have maybe 3 to 4 clients a month regularly, and you really just need to take that next step, then this is the perfect thing for you. If you're listening to this and you're not sure if this is a good fit for you, DM me and let me know what you're thinking or what you're feeling. And I am super happy to connect with you and see if it would be a good fit for you as well. So reach out and let's talk more. Y'all, this business is crazy. I get it. I look at my husband all the time and I'm like, can you believe this is our life because of my business? Can you believe we're able to do the things that we're able to do? And the reality of it is that I remember starting my business and I remember creating my first price list. We were sitting in my husband's bedroom at his parents' house. And I remember sitting there on my Mac Mini that I had bought on a credit card because I needed a computer that was decent, but I could not afford a laptop. And I bought my Mac Mini and I would hook it into the TV to use it. And I remember sitting there and working on the first price list ever in my business. And I remember putting on the price list $25 for an 8x10. And my husband and I sitting there and being like, there's no way. This is crazy. Why is everybody saying I need to charge this much money for an 8x10? And now my 8x10s are $195. And I look back at those days and I'm like, wow, that was crazy. I thought I was insane back then, but look at me now. Back then when my clients, I think I had 3 packages in the early days and I had like a $300, an $800, and a $1,200 package. And I remember being so excited when someone would spend $800 with me. Now $800 is one tiny piece of wall art. Now clients are spending 10 times that on their portraits. And I look back at those days and I'm so glad that I had that foundation laid. And I'm so glad that I had mentors that helped me and taught me what they taught me that laid the foundation to where I am now. But oh my gosh, I wish that I would have made bigger, scarier leaps in those early days. I wish that somebody would have taken me by the hand and been like, you think this is cool? You should see this other way. It can be even cooler. It can be 10 times cooler, right? That's what I wish. And I say all of this and I talk about all this, but I also want to share a caveat. It's something that is also very near and dear to my heart. As a photographer, you can have clients that spend $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000 with you. And you can also have clients that are on a budget. And that's a really big common misconception. And I want to really make this clear to y'all, and I want to share this because I think it is very important. I can be sitting here and I can have a $15,000 sale, and I can get on my next reveal and have a $600 sale. Yeah, 100%. That's crazy, right? But the thing is that I have options. I have options for the person that wants to spend $15,000, and I have options for the person that only wants to spend $600. So just because you grow and because you have higher spending clients and you have these bigger items for your clients to invest in does not mean that you're going to alienate all of your clients that you have right now. You can still serve them. And you can still provide a quality of service they will love and adore you for, but maybe they can't buy the giant, huge hand-painted canvas. Maybe they can only do mounted prints, but we can still serve both of those people in our business. So I want to remind you of that. And I want to tell you that that's okay to have both of those people and both of those clients in your business, because sometimes those clients that can only spend $600, they love you just as much, if not even more. And they're so excited to get to work with you, if not more excited to work with you as the client that can spend $15,000, because they know they got to work with a photographer that people can spend $10,000 or $15,000 with. And that's a cool feeling for them to be able to work with you, for you to be accessible to them as well. So if you're listening to this and you've heard all these crazy numbers and you've heard what I get to do in my business, like, I wanted to kind of share that with you, because that is the reality of my business. And that is one of my core beliefs. So make sure you keep that in the back of your head and know that you can grow, you can make more money from the clients you have, but you can also still serve those people that might be on a more limited budget. But also know that you get to a place too, which is really cool. And we've been talking a lot about this with a few of my coaching clients recently, is you can get to a place where you can have the $10,000 or $15,000 reveal and turn around and have the $600 reveal right after that. And you can be equally grateful for both of those clients, and you can love both of those people the same. You won't have those weird feelings like, oh my gosh, they only spent $600. Well, this person's, no, they're the same. They get the same experience. They get the same everything. They just get different products. They get different size smaller, those types of things. But in all reality, both of those clients can be amazing and the best clients on both ends of the spectrum. So don't let that idea scare you off that, you'll have people that won't be able to afford you, or that will cause issues with your business. Guys, seriously, send me a message. Let's connect. I know this episode has been a little bit different than most, and it's just been me rambling a bit and spilling a bit of my heart, and has not been the most organized episode on earth, but that's okay. I really, wanted to record this, and I talked to my husband before I recorded this episode, and I was like, what are people going to think? What are people going to say? I'm putting a pause on the podcast. Are they going to understand? But hopefully sharing a bit of my story and what got me back to this place of let it be easy helps all of you in your own business. And hopefully by me showing you that I'm doing this, I'm giving you also the courage to just let it be easy, to stop fighting, to stop the struggle, to jump off the bus, to just let your business be easy. Let it be simple. Let it be fulfilling. Let it pay you well. It does not have to be hard, guys. I'm running 2 businesses. I have 6-figure months in my business, my portrait business. And guess what? I have a newsflash for you. I work Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4, and I work 1 evening a week doing reveals for portrait clients. And that's it. 8 to 4. And actually, I probably don't work 8 to 4 most days. Most days, 2 or 3 days a week, I run errands for a couple of hours during the day and go get coffee mid-morning, just go have a coffee date with my husband. So it is not all the time 24/7 working during business hours either. I would say that I'm probably, in all reality, working in my portrait business 2.5 days a week is all. Maybe if that, most weeks. It's super simple. Does not take a lot of my time anymore. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of steps. And the clients that I do have pay me well, and I love them and adore them. And it's great. I don't have to run my knuckles into the ground doing, a few $100 portrait sessions and doing a million of them to be paid well. So keep that in mind. In an average year in my business, my top 10 clients account for over $100,000 in revenue each year. I have clients that have spent almost $50,000 in the lifetime of my business with me over multiple portrait sessions. So my clients are coming back. They're coming back multiple times, and they're coming back ready to spend thousands of dollars every time. They don't hesitate. They don't blink. They know what it is. And they're like, hey, we wouldn't go anywhere else. These clients are my family. My kid loves them. My 2-year-old comes and hops on Zoom with me and says hi to them when I'm on reveals. My husband and my 2-year-old come to sessions with me sometimes. These clients are like my family, and I love them and adore them. And I want y'all to have the same thing. And I want you to be paid well from these people that love you and adore you. And I want them to respect you. It's a cool feeling, guys. And I want each and every one of you to have that. So let's connect. Send me a message. I cannot wait to talk to more of you. I cannot wait for the summer boot camp. It's going to be so good. And when I say it's a fraction of the price, it is crazy what I'm doing this for. So DM me and I'll get you all the details for how you can join us. There's only 20 spots available. We'll start mid-June. I can't think of my months right now. We'll start mid-June. And we will meet live bi-weekly. So every other week we'll be meeting as a community. So send me a DM, Master Your Mind Money, email me members@karindak.com, or reach out to me on Facebook. Send a pigeon. I don't care how you connect, but let's connect and I'll get you the details. Only 20 spots available. So make sure when I get you the link, you grab your spot fast, because I know that these spots are going to fly. And I know it's going to be so good, and it's going to be such a great community of people to really just connect, grow with, learn with, and do all of the things with. So I will see y'all down there.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please make sure you share it on social media or leave a rating and review. As always, you can check out the links and resources in the show notes over at masteryourmindmoney.com. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at masteryourmindmoney. And don't forget to join our free Facebook group, Photography Business Tune-Up with Karinda K. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.